I find this all fascinating. We've listened to all sorts of people for the last 10 days. We've come to the conclusion that there's no answer. And we've also come to thank God that we don't own BP. And we haven't been tempted to buy it. I think this can go a lot lower. But and I'm not speaking position. We're not short or anything. But it's I think the wrath of people are very angry. So gives them you're channeling that anger towards something. We could talk about what happened to the market in the afternoon of the 6th of May, right? Or we can talk about why, I was in South Carolina a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and there's 23%, 24% unemployment. So there's a lot of things to be angry about all over the place. And so I think you channel the anger. And I think right now there's, the sucking sound is the problem in the Gulf, and you're channeling the anger. There's eventually will I think the good news for the SEC and Shapiro is that people aren't angry at her, but at any rate, so I think this goes on. What we've looked at, and which I've yet to find anyone that's really given us a very good answer, is really what happens to reinsurance companies, because there's going to be enormous problems for some of the reinsurance companies. BP did a lot of reinsuring, a lot of self-insurance, but carried very large reinsurance, as did the driller and Anadarko and the other players. So it's going to be a lot of problems for the insurance industry and with its selling of assets, because they've got to meet the liabilities. And the number being kicked around is 30-40 billion. So it's a big number, and well, it's going to be expensive for their reinsurance coverage, which I think is what you've got to look at. And if this thing goes for months and months, and which my sense, listening to various people, is that it could. And I think somebody mentioned this business about if you get a large hurricane and you begin to move some of the petroleum onshore, because of the wind and the motion of water, then you've got a real problem in crops and land, and then the cleanup really becomes enormous, and the costs just go through the roof, and really through the roof. So that's something to keep in mind, and that's why I would not buy the stock.